Now we're good. Does that mean we're live or that we're... G'day, everybody. Welcome to the very final episode of Pints with Aquinas in this studio.
Steubenville edition.
Steubenville edition. Before I explain any further, I want to let people know that we are going to be building a brand new studio down in Florida, and we have the plans for it. And if you want to help us do that financially, it's pintswithaquinas.com/studio. So please click that because we give you free things in return depending on how much you're able to give us, and it would really help me out.
Like episodes, for instance. Technically, these are free, aren't they?
What's that?
Like episodes.
Yeah, episodes are free. That's the least you can do.
Yeah.
Jacob,
how's it going to look different?
Well, it's going to be a lot bigger.
Is it?
So I've already got the space. It's above like this hipster coffee shop and record place and like a new... I won't say where, but in a place in a nice downtown place, and it's gonna be nice, yeah, and it'll give a lot more depth. People when they walk in here are shocked at how small this is. This room,
sure, yeah.
So it'll be like 4 times the size of this room,
wow.
And so I think it'll look really nice. And we need to get new cameras. These cameras, people probably have noticed if they've watched the show for a while, they'll go in and out of focus, and. Someone pointed out to me it's because these Nikons are really meant for photography more than they are video.
Video, yeah.
Anyway, so we're buying a whole...
Gonna get
Jacob,
it
hi.
right. Hi, man. How you doing?
So nice to have you.
Thank you so much. I'm really honored. I mean, quite genuinely honored to have this chance to interview you.
All right.
As your final thing you do in the studio and almost thing you do in Steubenville. So this is special.
Thank you. We should tell people too that I've just got, this is my 10th interview this week.
Holy smokes.
And so the reason so even though this is the final interview in the studio, people are going to be seeing like 6 or 7 or so more interviews in this studio. Yeah, because it's been, we've done a ton just to kind of get ahead so that we can build the studio and stuff like that. So I just wanted to get that out of the way before everyone's like, wait a minute.
Well, I want to ask you about your time here in Steubenville, but I want to first ask you, at what point did you know that Pints with Aquinas, the show, made it?
I'd say when I got 100,000 subscribers.
That was right when you moved here?
Yeah, it was about 2 weeks after I think I got here.
Wow. So when you moved here, you thought, this could be what I do. I might have to find some other gig.
I never intended to find any other gig, but your question was like, when did I feel like, wow, this has really succeeded? This is, I think when I got 100,000 subscribers, I remember thinking to myself, yeah, there are YouTube channels that have millions, but if I can't sit back and just go, wow, this is something, then I'll never be able to do it. Yeah. You know, it's something you're always chasing, but never finding. So when I got 100,000 subscribers, I remember being like, wow, that's a beautiful accomplishment.
And that's what they sent you. I remember.
Yeah, you can take it off because I'm going to be literally unpacking these bookshelves. So that doesn't have to go back up.
So this actually showed up at my house, I think.
Yeah.
You were living there at the time, right? And I remember we broke open, gosh, what was it? A Macallan?
Well, I can't remember. See, you were kind enough to let my wife and I and family stay at your house for the first 3 months that we arrived in Steubenville. We didn't yet have a house. You were in Oxford. Yeah. Finishing your doctorate. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah.
And that showed up, and it's pretty cool.
That is pretty special.
Yeah.
So of the other things that you've done here, I'm not sure. I mean, everybody knows about the cigar lounge. Did everybody know about the building over here?
I don't know about everybody.
Should we tell them that story?
I'll tell it briefly.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could tell it better. But I bought a building here downtown. It's like a 3-story building. And the nice thing about living in Steubenville, of course, is buildings are relatively cheap.
A dime a dozen, baby. Yeah.
So I think I forget what I bought it for, like 160,000. It's a 3-story building. It may have been cheaper, I forget.
Beautiful facade.
Beautiful. And so the whole idea was we were going to create this whole studio thing there. And then 2 doors down from this building, they demolished this old lodge, but they did it incorrectly, and that lodge fell on the building next to mine and damaged my foundation.
This is crazy.
So within a week, it was actually condemned, essentially.
Yeah,
the building that I just bought. Welcome to Steubenville.
This is crazy.
That's what you know?
That's how we manage our city around here. Yeah.
So how we keep the population down.
Just when you're trying to say to everybody, this is a great place to move, we got to keep it under control slightly, right?
Calm down.
Yeah. It was hilarious. The city called the guy whose building was right next to yours.
Yeah.
and which completely demolished, right? And they said,
fell on it.
I mean, it's
Just
not
crushed
even
it.
there anymore, right? And they call him up, and he like has this voicemail saying, "Hey, we had a problem, sir, with our demolition today. Your building is damaged, and we just wanted to call you and let you know." And he like shows up, is like, "It's not damaged, it's not there."
No.
And then your building's like leaning over, it's like the Tower of Pisa. It's just unbelievable. That was a pretty crazy memory of being here.
Yep.
What are some others?
Of living in Steubenville?
Yeah.
I mean, the cigar lounge was huge. I remember when I arrived here, most of the buildings downtown are boarded up. There was this one place, and it looked like it used to be a cigar lounge. It was just a really old, ratty place. And I said to Zeph, who now co-owns the building with me, and Rob Pretzel, I said, it would be sweet if we started a cigar lounge here. And he got in touch with me a while ago and said, a while after that conversation, said, "Are you serious about it?" I went, "Yeah, well, let's think about it." And so I think it's been about 2 years now we've had that lounge, and it's beautiful, and it's been a place. I'll tell you a story. This is really beautiful, actually. So on the night it opened, there was a fella there who said, he asked in a much more crass way than what I'm about to say, "Will there be topless girls in there?" He's like, "I know a place in Pittsburgh." So it was a very crass way that he put it. And my co-owner, Rob, said, "No, it's going to be a very different kind of place, but you should come by. We think you'd really enjoy it." So he became a regular.
Wow, really?
Yeah. And Matt McCloskey, who's the general manager, really, I think, showed a lot of affection towards him. Like, we'd kind of call him when he wasn't around, "How you doing?" That kind of thing. Kept coming by. Now, most people who go to this lounge are Catholics, but, we're all reading our books and smoking our cigars. No one's trying to proselytize in a way that would be thought of as annoying. Long story short, I'm at the lounge one day, and I don't really have much of a relationship with this guy, but he said he's going to confession tonight for the first time since the 80s.
Come on.
And so actually a friend at the cigar lounge drove him, and I went to confession as well. So it was interesting. We were both in line at the same time, and that's absolutely because of the friendships that he'd made in that lounge. So that's beautiful, huh? That's
incredible. Yeah. That really is something else. What would you have kept doing if you had? What would have been the next thing that you would have built here?
Well, it's not like I have any money left, especially after my building died. But I mean, I don't know. I had these dreams. Like, it would be nice to have this kind of like Pints with Aquinas headquarters, where maybe we have multiple studios. And maybe we bring other people in to do certain things, maybe run their own channels under the brand or something.
Are you still thinking about doing that now in Florida? No.
Yeah. I like to keep my life really simple.
Yeah.
I encounter...
You do a good job of that. Yeah. I said that as a compliment.
Okay. Yeah. Like, you encounter people and they've got these big businesses, and I've had multiple people like talk to me who have these big businesses, and they're very jealous. Because I just, I have like a few people who are really good at what they do. Josiah, obviously, being one of them. Melanie, who's our manager, who, and it's just very simple. It's not big, sprawling organization. Yeah, I would be terrible at running it anyway if I had that. So I like keeping it simple. So I wouldn't want to. I changed my mind. I don't want to have other channels. I just like doing this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, people are grateful. I know that. Yeah. I can say thank you on behalf of everybody.
Neat. It's neat. What's beautiful about it too is it's people like you and Eric Ibarra and others who I have on the show who I feel like they're a fire, and I get to throw, my questions are logs that I throw on the fire to keep it going. And so it's like getting this wisdom from all of these beautiful people, whether they be theologians or philosophers or converts, like to get to hear their story. So if it was just me, it would not be this big and it wouldn't be this influential. I think the reason it has been so influential on people is they get to hear from a wide variety of people who are in the church or coming into the church or not yet in the church but are Christians. I think that's a big part of its appeal. So there's kind of someone for everybody, hopefully.
I think that's true, but there's a lot of interview shows out there, and I constantly find myself thinking when listening, man, I wish I would ask this guy this question, and then you ask that question, right? And so I think that's part of it, is that you know when to push and prod and make somebody uncomfortable, or just to follow up on a question that's not quite clear. So not everybody does that, Matt. So thank you.
Yeah.
Does everybody know about your sauna? Now they do.
I have a barrel sauna in my backyard. Yeah, beware. When you buy a barrel sauna, it seems like a good deal, and then it shows up on the back of a truck, and you got to put it together. I knew that. I didn't know how difficult it would be.
It's like the hard level of IKEA. You know?
Yeah, it's very difficult. So, I'm a big sauna guy. I need to find another one to my new house in Florida.
You can't not do it now.
Yeah.
I mean, this is kind of daily bread.
So
I'm going to be
lovely.
so disappointed to come down. We're like, we're not hanging out in the sauna? Like, what's going on now?
Yeah. No, it's just been so beautiful. It's like I said about the 100,000 mark, you know, and people can relate to this no matter where they are or no matter what they do. Like there are certain milestones that you hit that if you don't sit back to look at it and be thankful to God, then you'll never do it. Like you'll never actually sit back. You'll just keep on the treadmill and you'll never pause to be like grateful. So it's nice to have this moment to go, I feel sadness right now, excitement, but just sort of like this. And also this sense that I don't know what's about to happen. As I pack up all these books, as I start taking down all these cords and things, and I don't know what it's going to feel like. It'll feel sad because this has been really beautiful to have Jordan Peterson there, Andrew Clavin there, Dennis Prager there, Dr. Scott Hahn, Peter Kraft, Chloe Cole, like so many people who sat in that seat on this dinky little table that the good Bob Lesniewski built for me. You know, that's, if I'm not going to sit back now and go, thank you, Lord. Like what a beautiful thing that you've allowed me to do despite my deficiencies, obvious as they are and get to be because of the show. Well, I'm very grateful. If I'm not going to do that now, I'll just never do it. I'll just keep running on to Florida. And so I'm very grateful. Yeah.
Is this also time to kind of think about new strategies going ahead? Is that, or we're not there yet?
Good. Yeah. When you say new strategies, what do you mean?
Yeah. If you're thinking about during this, I mean, when you moved here, was 3.5 years ago, 4 years ago? 4 years ago.
About 4 years ago.
Yeah. You were just shy of 100,000 subscribers. Where are you at now?
I don't know.
630 or something? Something like that?
Oh, 629, 616.
All right, that's where you are. That is an unbelievable amount of growth.
Yeah.
In and of itself, in 4 years, no less. So then, obviously, you're doing things that are touching many. You almost don't want to change anything, right?
I don't want to change anything for a couple of reasons.
Yeah.
One, it seems like it's working.
Yeah.
Two, I'm lazy and don't want to do other things. There's been multiple times that Josiah has, like, with his beautiful creative mind, come up with different, like, kinds of shows we could do. And I'm like, I don't want to, you know. And the other thing is, I think I can say this without immodesty. I think it's obvious. I think I know how to grow quicker, right? I could be like, you know what? Instead of 1 episode a week, let's do 5. You know, and I'll have someone do the legwork so that I'm just showing up and sitting down, and I'm going to commit to every night. I'm going to sit down with somebody and talk to them. Yeah, I don't want to do that. It would be exhausting. I have 4 beautiful children and a wife I love to hang out with, and I don't want to. Yeah. So that'll, you know.
Yeah. I think so.
I'm happy for things to grow the way that they are. As far as re-strategizing, you know, I remember I was in Australia a couple of years ago to evangelize, and it was a real honor to do that. And I was shocked, just like I was when I was in Europe, at how many people are genuinely impacted by the show. Because, you know, you're just in this like room in Steubenville, you forget the real world impact it has on people. I also personally don't think I've ever been like seriously impacted by a show. So in a way, I can't even understand it. But if I take people at their word,
right? Yeah.
Then what they're telling me is that they just converted to Catholicism, and Pints had a big role in that, or they want to because of Pints or things like that. So when I was in Australia and I was hearing this, and the line is like an hour long, and every single person is saying this, it made me realize yet again the responsibility of not screwing this up, of really trying to be faithful, you know, and not just getting on here and airing out my grievances because I can, and really trying to have good guests on who are thoughtful. And, you know, and I feel the responsibility of that, just like everyone does if they have, or they should, if they're evangelizing in any way or sharing the gospel in any way. Like, how do I be honest and help people come closer to Christ. And God forgive me for all the ways that I failed to do that well. And so as far as strategy, I hope we just keep having good people on, who can at least not lead people away from Christ in the church.
Yeah.
There's my goal. Yeah.
It is interesting how the opportunities of growth do move someone away from original mission. So often we see that, it's clear, right? In that perpetual growth or the opportunity to have a greater impact. Well, what I'm doing is important now. So do I want more people to see it as soon as possible? And I think it's that last part, that as soon as possible, that starts to change, usurp the true captain of the ship, who really should be Christ, right? And I think that, within any kind of this entrepreneurial moves, like as you have and as you're doing, if it's not also done with a Marian docility in that Marian mode. I
remember a friend once saying to me, like, be grateful that you don't have the money to do the things you want to do, because most of the things you want to do, you may regret in 5 months from now.
Wow,
and if you had the money, you just blow through it without the discernment. So in a way, having a lack of funds, it limits you to do this one thing. And hopefully that one thing is good and you're not making a ton of mistakes because you don't have the means to do them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask about, here, it was such a fun time when you, these last 4 years, because you come into downtown Steubenville, and a lot of people have come into downtown Steubenville and they've seen, wow, it really is gross, down here, just as everybody said. There's so much activity over the last few years of people trying to build or start something new. You mentioned Zeph, you mentioned Rob, those two principal players here in downtown, Mark Barnes, others. And something that you notice that is so true, and I didn't stop to think about it, is that there was actually a bit of a transition period that happened a few months ago where everybody was trying to get their new businesses up and running, and now they're up and running. And so they're not scrappy on the street trying to get stuff done. They're kind of locked in and working. That is kind of, it was for us an exceedingly special time to kind of sit back and think, and also just see what could be together. And I think that time of dreaming, obviously working extremely hard, but of dreaming together is something that you can't really replace. That's right. That time.
And this was Rob Pretzel who pointed this out to me, because I said, I'm feeling like a lack of the energy, and I know I've been away and I don't live here anymore, so that's clearly leading to this. And what's going on? And he pointed out just that very thing. He's like, no, you have to remember, like a year ago, we were all dreaming of St. Joseph's, the Worker College that you are at the helm of, the cigar lounge, that pottery place that opened up, you know, the excellent grocery box that Mark Barnes and others had started. So there's a lot of dreaming, there's a lot of energy, there's a lot of excitement to what could be. And now many of those things are, and we're in the thick of it now. Now we're in the kind of, okay, now how do we, so there's a different energy here. But it's exciting. When I moved here, 4th Street, for those watching, is our main downtown street. How many? I think there were 2 stores, 3. There was the bookstore that's now owned by a Catholic who's crushing it.
Unbelievable.
There was Leo's, the coffee shop. There was that Greek store. And then there was that like odds and ends store. But now there's...
Oh, yeah. And that's...
And then the dive bar.
Which is the greatest dive bar in North America.
It really is great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now we've got that 4th Street standard, the kind of Chipotle type place, the grocery box, cigar lounge, like things.
The pizza joint.
The pizza joint.
Yeah, and a completely kind of a new face to the bookstore, as you said. Yeah.
You know what I struggle with is when to quit.
Yeah. How do you think about that?
Well, I think what bothers me is that I realize that most people ride things until they can't ride them anymore.
Yeah.
And so, and it seems to me that it would actually take probably some integrity for a person to say, that'll do.
Yeah.
And I don't know, and I know that most people don't know that. They don't know when to quit, So it's always, I'm bothered by that.
Well, can I ask you about this? And maybe forgive me if I'm asking something inappropriate, but I remember there was a time, maybe a year after you came, you're just like, I'm going to shut down Pints. And it's just like...
Such a Matt Fradd thing to say.
Yeah, well, that's true.
It's Wednesday. Don't worry, guys.
and you said it, and then I was like, okay, whatever. And then you said it again the next week, and then you said it again the week afterwards. And I thought, oh my gosh, is he like serious? And the way that you put it at the time was, I find that what we're doing in person is so enervating and vivifying that I don't even see. It was part of like what you're saying, like I'm in this little room. I don't see the impact of what I do day to day.
Yeah.
I want to see that. And then the next, like it wasn't even the next week. It was just a few days later when you said it to me again. You also said, and I'm getting rid of my car. Yeah. And I thought, okay, that's not all going to happen then.
See, that's right. The thing you have to understand about Matthew Fradd is he goes on what I like to now call ideological benders. And sometimes you just have to wait.
Better than most benders.
Yeah, that's right. And so you just have to wait. Hopefully he won't do what he's saying and then end up with a giant hangover. Yeah.
But that was, what, do you remember this?
I remember saying, because I had just spent a month off the internet.
That's what it
Remember
was.
I was doing
exactly.
That?
Yeah.
I hadn't looked at email, hadn't done anything. And was like, I just want to live a simpler life. So it's, I don't know. I think there's part of that. I mean, there are people who won't understand what we're talking about. There are other people who will be like, of course, that like elusive thing. So to live in that tension, I think is kind of fun, healthy. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
motivates the good that you're doing.
Hopefully.
Sober. Yeah.
I've never been terribly confident in what I'm doing. You know,
why is that?
I've said this before, and I don't think I'm unique in this, that you sometimes observe people and they seem fully convinced that they know exactly what the Lord has called them to and what they're doing, and I envy that. I'm like, that sounds awesome. You know, the energy that must come from knowing that and like funneling that, I am envious of that. Do you have that?
Yes.
That's beautiful.
I think I do. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think I have to talk myself into it. I think I have to say, so it's almost like the talking myself into it precedes the feeling as opposed to the feeling leading my thoughts. It's more like, well, this is probably it. I mean, look, you're 42, you don't have long left, like 41, I don't know how old I am, but this has been very helpful to a lot of people. It has the potential to continue to be, this is it. So therefore, believe that and keep going.
Yeah, I wonder what that is. If I think about like why do I have? I don't actually know. I'm just thinking out loud here. But why I have that sort of confidence is that there's so many things that are happening in and around to make, in this case, the College of St. Joseph the Worker exist that I just don't think is at all in my power, right? And that because there is this, what really does seem to be an extraordinary amount of power behind it, that I don't want, I've almost am scared to leave what seems to be something that is particularly ordained by the foster father of our Lord, that I want to be close and in his bosom. I want to stay right next to him. And that is a place of safeguarding for me and my soul. And also I believe my family too.
That's beautiful.
And so it's actually, I mean, it sounds kind of strange in a certain way, but it actually is like affection that is driving my confidence there. Cause I really want to be next to St. Joseph.
That's beautiful.
And is this part of like your motivation probably too of like changing the name of Pints with Aquinas to Beers with Bonaventure? Or, I'm just
yeah.
That's not actually happening, people.
Yeah,
sorry.
so for me, I feel like it's the thought that precedes that. When I say feeling, I'm not trivializing it. That motivation that you feel, I feel like it's the thought that motivates the motivation in me. So for me, when I think about it, I'm like, Blessed Mother, would you please use this little podcast to crush many serpents and to clear a way for souls to come into a more intimate relationship with you. I trust that you'll do it. I don't know what it means to feel that sometimes, but I'm going to go with that. Yeah. And then I start to feel it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, in prayer, I guess that would make sense. Yeah. Be spot.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, this is wild, dude. Look, let's start. Look, here's my taxiderm kangaroo scrotum.
It's so important.
Take that off. Thomas Aquinas. Like, this is all coming down. That is St. Paul of the Cross.
Oh my goodness.
It was given to me by the great Gabby Castillo.
Wow.
Because I once, in a fit of enthusiasm, gave my first class relic to Shane Smith.
Yes.
Shane, if you're watching, I do regret that. Speaking of hangovers, after fits of... I love this. I love this Superman. This is the Superman from Seinfeld.
Oh, man.
So that's gonna...
What's the backstory to that?
I just like Superman. How could you not? He's the greatest.
He is super indeed.
Isn't he beautiful? And look, this comes off like that. So
wow, he just looks even more jacked when you take off his cape.
Yeah.
You regret not wearing capes? I just think that, society would be so much better.
That's why I wanted to be a deacon, right? It's like I want a cape. Oh, and is this for the YouTube? Oh, okay, there's people chatting. That's nice. So yeah, this is all coming down. Now that was given to me by, I forget his name, and I'm so sorry to the fella.
This is for the Catholic Lo-Fi?
Danny Pacelli? Don't you want me to read the chat? What are you doing? Yeah, so this fella came and gave that to me.
You look great with those glasses, by the way. I like them a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this one was made by, sorry, I interrupted
Danny Pacelli? We think so. And look at this. I mean, he is beautiful. But all right. We got a lot of chats here. Yeah, big thanks to everybody. So I could lay out the list of the equipment we're about to buy, but it adds up to about $38,000.
That's a good bit.
And that doesn't include the rental of the space in Florida, nor does it pay for the carpenter friend of mine who's going to come, hang up the curtains, put whatever this board is called around the base.
Yeah. It's T111, I think.
There's a lot of stuff we're doing. So if people want to help us build a new studio, I'd really appreciate it. If you don't support me, I will do it anyway. Do you understand? I'm not reliant. I'm going to do it. It would just make my life way better and easier if you would, maybe not better, but easier if you would support us. pintswithaquinas.com/studio. Please click it. Go there now. Check it out.
This wall actually used to have windows.
Yeah.
And so to actually make a space appropriate for a studio really takes a tremendous amount of work. And so that's what's just ahead of you. I mean, that's pretty fun to be able to do that again.
It does. It really does. Because I actually have this new studio has beautiful windows looking out in this lovely area, and I have to cover all of them up.
Yeah.
So it's kind of all right, let's see. We're going to take some questions here. This person says, been watching since episode 8. Congrats, Matt. Thank you, TriPie. And thanks for the super chat. It's very kind of you. Logan Leroy says, how long has this been in the works? Did visiting the Daily Wire studio in Florida play a role in getting you to finally decide? Yeah, so no, it didn't. That's not what it was. I've announced this before, so I'll announce it again. My wife was just really sick here. And whenever we'd leave, she'd feel better. And that feels so silly saying that, because it's like, well, what does that mean?
Well, can I say, this is maybe, again, something I shouldn't admit on air, but I did not believe in people who were perpetually ill or like chronically ill. I just thought that was totally bogus. No, I just thought, they don't exist. It's bogus. There's like some psychological thing going on. And then I met Cameron, and it was amazing. Both, I think the thing that like crushed my very, ridiculous doubt was that she was so happy in her suffering.
Yeah.
And she suffers.
She's pretty cool.
She suffers. I mean, just to say suffers well is like, doesn't begin to capture it. She does understand the power of suffering. Cameron has.
Yeah. In her bones.
She
really does.
And she sees that is part of, that she can lean into her own suffering for the sanctification of me and for her family, and to see that, okay, there's no psychological thing going on, here with Cameron at all. She is,
or even if it is, it's both, like, cause she, and then it's sad to say this, but meeting a few people who've had similar experiences made me feel less insane. So anyway, that's why we moved to Florida. My wife kept getting really, really sick here, and when we'd leave, she'd feel a lot better. So I don't know what that means, but that's why. So no, it wasn't the Daily Wire studio. Jeff. G'day, Jeff. Thank you for giving us $50, mate. That's ridiculously kind of you. Hey, Matt, convert here from Texas. If you hadn't recommended I Believe in Love, I would not be Catholic. Wow. What an undeserved gift indeed. Thank you for your work and best wishes to you and your family. Thank you, Jeff. Everyone should go get that book, I Believe in Love. It's brilliant. It's a retreat based on the teachings of Teresa of Lisieux. I recommend it to everybody, especially if you're somebody who struggles with scrupulosity. Samuel Varg says, greetings from across the pond. Come to Sweden and smoke the pipe with some fellow Catholics. I'd love to. Yes, I might be going back to Europe in the summer for a couple of months, so maybe I'll do it then. Yeah.
The pipe. Do they have a particular pipe in Sweden?
I don't know. It's funny how he phrased it, right?
Yeah, I
Smoke
like that.
the pipe. Yeah.
I think it's epic phrasing.
Someone wrote kangaroo scrotum? Yeah. Did I stutter? Kangaroo scrotum. This is a taxidermed kangaroo scrotum.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you're from Seattle, you get kicked out if you don't drink a certain amount of coffee each week. Same thing with this. If you're Australian.
I'll get you into dangerous territory talking live. Well, I mean, what else to say? Will that do?
Yeah.
Rest in peace, old studio. We are about to disembowel you. People want you to know you have an amazing suit.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, this old thing?
I just drug it up this morning.
Jordan Peterson signed this for my son when he was here. I think I asked him to make it out to Liam too. Let's see. Where is it? There it is. To Liam J. Peterson.
Oh, that is so cool.
So
This is a funny story. I have a buddy that owns a tailoring company.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And great guy, love him. And I was wearing a shirt, and I did this when I was talking to him. We were having a conversation, and literally the elbow just ripped right in front. And he goes, "All right, we're taking care of this right now." And so he sized me up, and he got me. That's where this came from. So I owe Austin Wright a shout out and thanks to Shepherds. Yeah.
I should ask you this as well. Speaking of shout outs, so your excellent little college, St. Joseph the Worker. I mean, y'all are full, but do you want to give it a shout out? Because it's pretty impressive.
Well, thanks. We were so excited about what's happened this last year, where we officially opened the doors to the College of St. Joseph the Worker, where we're simultaneously training students in the Catholic intellectual tradition that earn their BAs, as well as in the skilled trades, the same noble profession and work that our Lord conducted while here on earth, to earn their journeyman's card. And yeah, we had so many people apply this last year. Sadly, we weren't able to take them all. We're trying to expand our class size from 30 to 50 this coming year. We would love for people to apply, throw their hat in the ring. It's exceeding, I mean, this is a proper way to describe it, is an exceedingly difficult liberal arts college that also teaches the skilled trades. So we are absolutely an institution of higher education first. It's extremely rigorous. It's kind of like honors college level academics. But if you really want to marry together the head and the hands, we would love to welcome you here.
What's your website?
collegeofstjoseph.com.
Beautiful.
Thanks.
It's amazing how quickly people are realizing it. I think everyone just realized, oh my gosh, where has this been? We've needed this for so long. It's been pretty fun. You hear about our gala? Did I tell you about this?
No. We had a gala in Pittsburgh a month ago or so, and it was a great time. I was at the Duquesne Club. It was this extremely historical, beautiful building, type of craftsmanship that built this building just doesn't exist today. I mean, that's exactly what we're trying to resurrect, at our college. And we had some great speakers come up, and at the end, the couple that I was sitting next to at the gala leaned over and said, "Hey, I just gotten off the stage," and they said, "Do you mind if we take over the microphone for a minute?" I said, "Sure. Well, yeah, absolutely." And they get up there and they said some nice things about the college. And then they said, "And tonight we are pledging $1 million and we want all of you here to match it." And they almost did.
Holy crud. How did you react when they said that?
I was like, well, here's another St. Joseph moment. This is unreal. Yeah. Wow. It was pretty special.
That's
great,
beautiful.
Beautiful people, beautiful soul. And also, I have to say, because I'm not dropping their names, is that they it's shocking how little extravagance that they live.
Yeah.
They just they have decided in this stage of life that they're just trying to build Catholic apostolates.
That's beautiful.
It's just a pretty special thing to witness.
We've got a couple more comments here, and then we should start pulling this shelf down. Polf said, became a catechumen today. Your channel and guests you've interviewed have really helped me grow in the faith. Thank you and good luck with the move. Thanks very much.
Wow. And good luck with catechesis.
And then we have this lovely person. Please pray for my mother, crippled with anxiety and depression, and for my family, that we may be united in support of her. Thank you for all that you do. I'm a new listener from Ireland. God bless you, friend. God bless you and your beautiful mum. I'm sorry to hear that. That's brutal. Yeah. Well, let's start. You're going to help me. We're going to start taking this stuff down.
Where did you get this from?
So I got that off eBay.
Come on.
And
that's beautiful.
My ignorance, right? It's actually all in Latin. I thought it was this could be in English and it could be my copy, but it is not.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful copy of the Summa that I'm holding here, and I'm trying to find the date. Published in Paris.
This is so wild. Some of these things I haven't taken off in forever.
You know, I'm actually amazed at how little dust there is up here.
Yeah.
Is this what Josiah does?
No. No, having two fellas run a podcast is not how you get a clean podcast at all, actually. One more time, fellas and ladies who are watching, I will build the studio with or without your help. But many people have said they wanted to help. So if you have the means, please go to pintswithaquinas.com/studio. And if you give certain amounts, we will send you things in return. You can go over there to see what those gifts are. And I know it always sounds like a throwaway line when you ask people to pray for you right after you've asked them for money, right? Like when I hear people say that, I'm like, you just think you have to say that because you're Christian and it makes you... But I actually really, really mean it. When we started Pints, when Pints started taking off, I wrote about 200 letters. It was a generic letter, but I printed it off 200 times and sent it to 200 convents, begging for their prayers.
Really?
Yeah, for those who would watch the show.
Are you in touch with how many of those?
None. But I just sent them letters, and we got a lot of people who actually sent us letters back saying, "Of course, we'll pray for you."
Wow.
So I, to quote Jason Everett in a different, maybe in the same context, I'll be serving them drinks in heaven, right? Like they're the spiritual fuel behind this. But so here's the line that might sound like a throwaway line, but it isn't. I would love to invite everyone who will watch this video, if you would be so kind, you don't have to offer up one Holy Rosary for Pints with Aquinas, for me, and for all those who watch this show, that they would be led into a more real, intimate, beautiful relationship with Christ and the church. Would you please do that? And if you would do that, would you just comment below and just say something like, I'll pray a rosary, just commit. And I'd be so grateful. Yeah, sometimes I'll meet people and they say, I've been praying for your channel. I just want to cry. It's just the best. So thank you so much for doing that. Thank you for coming in. Thank you for being my last interview.
Oh, dude, I'm so honored.
Yeah.
It's been rich. I'm had a teary moment when you weren't here.
Thanks.
Missing you, man.
Yeah. I just don't have the energy to... I'm a big Irish goodbye kind of guy.
Yeah, that's the only way to do it.
It's the only way. So even now, as we're saying goodbye to everybody, I'm like, oh, I'll be back. Just let's not have this be emotional.
Yeah.
You know? But I'll miss being here, but what a blessing it's been. So thanks to everybody who's watching, who's subscribed to the channel, who's helped us out over the years, and who'll continue to help us out. And praise God, I won't crash and burn. Remember that Matt Fradd guy? He was found in a dumpster, his nose filled with cocaine. He just really, anything's possible. But what did he say? I'm happy to, what did you say? Oh, yeah. Thank you to Josiah, who has just crushed this channel, whose editing skills have gone from, I'll be honest, decent. I wouldn't even say good. I would say they've gone from decent to freaking phenomenal. He's worked his ass off.
He has.
He's really, the way he takes ownership of the show. Like, he's been so grateful. I'm so grateful to him. I'm really am. He's a wonderful fella. I would never say that to his face. Also, to Melanie Pritchard, who Pints with Aquinas wouldn't exist without Melanie Pritchard. That woman, she is the most organized, loving, prayerful person, and she has done more for this show. Like, Pints would end if she ended. If she quit tomorrow, I don't know what would happen. Like, she is the backbone of Pints with Aquinas. She's the one who started writing Peterson and didn't stop.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is that true? Wow.
Yeah, because I wouldn't have had the energy to keep going back and forth. But she's just, and she puts up with me, which is incredible. So that's her first miracle for canonization one day. All right, that'll do. Glory to Jesus Christ.
Glory forever.